All right, everybody. This is another episode of your favorite Louisiana sports. Look, I'm gonna let y'all see my face because I'm just as tired of it as y'all are, man. This is for the diehards. This is the Boot Up or Shut Up podcast. And man, look, it's a crazy time to be a Louisiana sports fan right now. It's a lot. It's asking a lot of everybody. And man, look. I got some new glasses so I can we in the game. Shout out to you know my I don't know what to call him, but shout out to my developer. Finally brought one of my ideas to life. Got my dope dad hat representing the Black Dad Experience. Check that out on YouTube as well if you haven't. The Black Dad Experience podcast. But man, look, let's just keep it. What a time to be alive if you are a Louisiana sports fan. Man, where do we begin, bro? Like. We in one of them stretches again, bro. Like college, pro, football, and basketball. Like it's chaos just everywhere across the board. Brian Kelly got fired after a blowout loss. The Saints lost again and have now, changed quarterbacks and hold on to the number one pick as we speak. And the Pelicans, I don't even know what the hell to say about them, bro. Like it's just they 0-4, looking lost, getting blown out every night. And so we're gonna talk about all of it, why Brian Kelly got the boot, not the good version, right? Where we're at with this Tyler Shough replacement for Spencer Rattler, and what's happening with the Pels, bro? Like, where are we at? What are we doing? Like, it's just ridiculous. So, Louisiana sports, unfiltered, right here. Let's boot up, man. In case you've been under a rock somewhere, Monday evening, in the middle of the Saints game, right after, however you want to call it, LSU officially fired Brian Kelly after he got blown out by Texas A&M 49-25. Look, you're going to hear the same story everywhere. I mean, we've heard it all week. He wasn't a good fit. We told you it was blah, blah, blah. Like, man, look, that's lazy journalism. It's lazy takes. The truth is, man, he wasn't the present figure that the LSU coach team needs. You've heard reports coming out of Baton Rouge to say, Kelly was detached. I've heard some that says there were, assistants or people in the building and even recruits that he never met until they were like a part of the program, which is crazy. How are you in charge and you don't know people? Like that's just ridiculous to me. The biggest strike I can say, and it's been from former players at LSU and Notre Dame, is that he was all business, but not in the sense that we're used to. If we say somebody all business, that means they laser focused. They don't have time for the outside stuff. He was all business from the standpoint of he forgot to be a people person. When you're a coach, especially in sports, I mean, because there's coaches in other professions. If you're a sports coach, especially to young men, you are a father figure, whether you want to be or not. You are a father figure to these men, boys who are growing up to men. If you're in the pros to men. And there's no way you have players coming out saying, I never really talked to him. He passed me in the hallway. I got injured. I never heard from him again. Like that's is the fundamental issue that I have. Brian Kelly is, as of Sunday, active winningest coach in football. Notre Dame was a historical institution. He has the most wins in Notre Dame history. That's going back to all, Newt Rockne and, all these other people who just the foundation of football. He has the most wins over anybody. He took Notre Dame to, championship games, never won. And the most telling thing is when you fall from grace, you hit rock bottom, you're on hard times, you usually have people come to your defense, somebody in your corner, right? Right now, you don't hear anybody coming to Brian Kelly's defense. It's easy to pile on, but people are really piling on Kelly right now. And it's crazy because it's like, how are you the head coach of a football team? And yeah, you ain't supposed to know everybody and everything, but damn, bro, like you don't know some of your players. I got nothing, bro. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to make an excuse to make it sound like a decent human being, but it sounds like he just had poor leadership skills, man. So it wasn't about NIL, which was 2 years ago, or his family and accent and ingraining himself. It was about the lack of leadership, right? And we're going to talk about this in a minute, but that's why I say, man, the next coach, she don't need no more CEOs. They had Ed Orgeron and tried to make Ed Orgeron a CEO and hire different people. It worked out for a title, but it wasn't sustainable. Just like I said during the coach search for the Saints, I want somebody who is in it, the mess, the mix, everything, right? They don't need a CEO. They need somebody who's going to grind, right? Somebody who eats, sleeps, and breathes football with an obsession. And look, good on the people at LSU who make decisions, because I'll be honest with you, man, I didn't think they was going to fire the man because of the buyout. I didn't think they were going to fire him at the end of the season, much less at all. The fact that they were so fed up with what happened in Tiger Stadium on Saturday night, they just got their rich friends together and said, hey, man, he got to go. How much you putting in? This much. What you got on it? I got this much. Make the phone call. Get him up out of here. They got the freaking governor involved. Another topic we'll hit shortly. But it's just like, how bad do you have to mess something up for somebody to want to give you $53 million to not be around no more? Please give me that. You won't hear from me. I'll go in a cave and be in a different country. Won't bother y'all. Y'all can have all my shirts back, all my free shoes. You gave me everything. Please give me that and fire me. Like, for real, if you're a professional and you have a heart and you actually care, that's got to be bothersome, man. It's just like, what the hell are we doing? So you have Frank Wilson, right? And so the question is, we ain't got to rehash it. You've been hearing it all week. The question is, where do you go from here? The first and biggest thing is trying to keep the guys who are there together, not necessarily like not transferring. We ain't there yet, right? Together. And there's not a better person in that building and in that institution to do that than Frank Wilson. Came up through the ranks, high school coach, assistant coach, college head coach, #1 recruiter in the nation. They brought him back because he's #1 recruiter. If you didn't see his press conference, please go see his press conference from Tuesday, and you'll see why he is the right man for the job. Frank Wilson is going to galvanize these men and get them to stick together and do the one thing we have not seen this season. And it's one of the black marks that a lot of players from LSU have brought out. You are going to see them fight for the next 4 games. And that's all we really ask of you. If you are a team, a player, a person representing the state of Louisiana, that's all people really want to see. We used to losing. We used to people talking about us. We used to not getting credit for stuff. And we can go music, we can go history, land, trends. We can go to a lot of different things where we started it or we have a big piece of it and we don't get credit or we don't get acknowledged at all sometimes. And so it's like, man, when you represent Louisiana, we just want you to represent, come out with that Louisiana flair. We got an attitude about us. They call it swag. I hate the word because it's overused, but that's what it is. We're gonna French it up because we from Louisiana. We have a je ne sais quoi about us. If you from the boot, I don't care if you from Monroe, you from Shreveport, you from Lafayette, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Ocean City, Okaloosa, New Roads. I don't care where you from. You got something about you. You bring that flavor with you everywhere you go, and it's undeniable. You can't clean it off. You can't shake it off. I done been around the world and lived a bunch of places. I lost my accent, but I ain't never lost my Louisiana, ever. And that is what it looks like when you watch this LSU team. And I'm not giving them no excuses. It's not because it's the NIL era and it's transfers. Because you got people like AJ Halsey, Ansor Delane, Marcus Cooley, Tyburn, West Weeks. They all transferred in here. Everybody except West, I think this is their first year here. They all transferred in here. And you see the hustle. You see the heart. You see them making plays because of the letters on their chest and that logo on their helmet. That's what it is. It ain't about you and your NIL deal, your draft stock. If you do the right things by being a player at LSU, that's going to come to you. Justin Jefferson, last Jefferson to come through. His brothers have been here, quarterback, safety, they did their thing. Justin came this mug, damn near walk on. Couple of stars here and there. Turned himself into a first-round draft pick in the 20s, which he should have went higher, and he's arguably against his teammate, the top wide receiver in the NFL. There's other people who left Louisiana and went to different schools and have become Hall of Famers at all times. You got your Ed Reeds. People may laugh at it now, but back in the day, Cordell Stewart went to Colorado. You have the Josephs who went to Nebraska and Colorado. Reggie Wayne went to Miami as well. Florida State. You got this. You name the schools, we sent people to them. And there's one thing you knew about that person is they was going to bring it. And it's just, you haven't seen that in the Brian Kelly era. And it all came to a head on Saturday. You got the defensive end from Texas A&M. Woofing ain't the word. He is in the lineman's face going off. telling him what he ain't gonna do, telling him he is just in his ass, and you ain't gonna do nothing about it. And you know what happened? They didn't do nothing about it. They let that man talk his talk. Quarterback come out there before the week saying, "Oh, it's just another stadium. I don't care." You let him come out there and trip out on his first touchdown because we break containment, and you have a quarterback spy who overplays it and leaves a rush lane for 40-yard touchdown. After the game, he's like, "Oh, I guess I was right. I just Death Valley." Damn, dog. Like, we ain't always been winners, but we sure as hell ain't always been played out like this either, and that's the problem. So where do you go from here? You got Frank Wilson galvanizing the troops, getting together, and all he asking is for y'all to fight for each other, to play your best, give it your all, and see what happens. And that's all they can control right now. Will they go 4-0? Probably not. Doubt it. But what if they do? What if they go 4-0, beat Alabama, who is arguably the hottest team in the country right now, on the road, beat a tough Arkansas team, Western Kentucky, and in the season, Oklahoma's still ranked maybe. You go into Norman and you beat Oklahoma. And you're at 9-3. I don't predict this to happen whatsoever. But 9-3, with some craziness happening in the next 4 weeks, 5 weeks, might get you in the playoffs. Doubt it, right? A lot has to happen. I doubt you're going to get an SEC title game. So your season is probably over with at this point. But what does that say about you as a man? Some of y'all shot last year playing. You are out of eligibility. How you going to go out? Garrett Nussmeier, you have on number 18. That means something. Harold Perkins, bro, I don't know what's up. I'm gonna call it like it is. You looking real weak right now. You being lazy. I saw it a couple of weeks ago in the Vanderbilt game. You watch the replay. The team is fighting. They get him down to 4th and goal on the goal line stands, and the dude get in because he moves his legs. He's on top of pile. He's turning. Harold Perkins is right here next to the dude watching him. You ain't jumping the pile, pulling back. You ain't like you just like. Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn on off the bench in the morning, the past couple of mornings, showed some clips from the game yesterday, I believe. And 3 or 4 of them, you loafing, bro. People coming from the other side of the field to make a play, attempt to make a play. You just jogging. You have on number 7 for the second year in a row. Last year you got hurt, I'll give you that. You on the field this year. You healthy. Number 7 is a playmaker, not a loafer, not a lazy somebody. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, y'all just ain't got it. And until I'm shown otherwise, I just don't think y'all I don't think y'all gonna get it either. So Frank Wilson has welcomed older players back into the building. We'll see how that affects these guys. There are a few changes. But yeah, the future looks like, are you going to buy in to sticking to your commitment to this team this year, to this school, and ride it out and fight for each other? That's what it looks like. And as we transition to our last piece of it, man, it's like, who do you get to coach? Now, I mentioned earlier the governor was calling the board of whoever, trustees, the board of education. I don't know what the hell he called. Some people he in charge of, so it don't really matter what they call. They're his minions. They're the ones who got together and figured this out and pushed the button on firing Kelly. Didn't even bring in the athletic director, Scott Woodward, right? Then on Tuesday, this dude is at a press conference about benefits. Now, mind you, let's not all forget, Louisiana has some of the worst educational system, definitely the worst financial situation in the country, corrupt politics throughout our entire history, and yeah, man, he's at a press conference talking about benefits and how the shutdown and things are affecting those things, and he took the time to talk about LSU. Strike one, like stay on topic, bro. Number 2. Landry, you just embarrassed everybody. I don't care what your take is. You just embarrassed everybody. The fans, the school, the team, and the dude who still has a job for right now, even though you want him out. You bringing politics into this. This dude said Scott Woodward will not be the person picking the next coach, and went on and doubled and tripled down and says, I'll let Donald Trump pick the coach before I let him pick it. Man, you playing politics. Y'all just spitting facts that ain't real. Yes, Scott Woodward hired Jimbo, but he is not the one who gave Jimbo the extension. He was already at LSU when that happened, right? Typical politician trying to control a narrative. So he's not responsible for the 2 biggest buyouts. He's responsible for Kelly's, right? Also, man, Jay Johnson, 2-time baseball champ in the last 3 years. Kim Mulkey, championship Elite 8 at a minimum the past 3 years. In her 4th year. We'll see how men's basketball shakes out, right? But you act like this dude can't hire nobody. He just trash, right? It's his job. So either fire him or let him do his thing, right? Should he negotiate the contract? Maybe not. But he damn sure has proven he can pull in the right type of person. But anyway, you're just you're muddying things up by allowing politics, especially the governor, to say something. And so it's like, who do you get? And I'm gonna be real brief about this because this conversation is gonna go on for months and months and months. I tell you, I don't want James Franklin. That is Brian Kelly 2.3.4.0. No, there's a few people who I'm cool with. I'll tell you why. In no particular order. I'll take Lane Kiffin because Lane is 50. He's in a different headspace. He's doing good things at Ole Miss with less than you would have at LSU, right? And I won't get to the semantics about a lot of teams are on even playing fields now. I'm just gonna talk about the coach in general, right? So I want Lane because I think Lane, as I said, I don't want a CEO. Lane is going to be a CEO, but he also calls his own plays. He's a guru when it comes to play calling, and he would get us all in the right places and positions. Get him a D coordinator that does his thing, and you have a great 1-2 tandem, right? Also, probably more important than that, I love Lane's pettiness. Lane is as petty as if he was from Louisiana himself. Imagine Lane's pettiness mixed with that of the Louisiana fan base. Oh, you couldn't tell us nothing about nothing. Like, if you make shirts, hats, any kind of content, boy, you should be pushing for Lane, right? Down the road at Tulane, John Summerall. He won at Troy. He's winning at Tulane. I think he's just a really good coach and a really good leader. And that's where you're at right now with LSU. You need somebody who's going to actually coach, as I said earlier, not be CEO, coach and be involved, and an actual leader to get these people, right? So I think that he has proven himself at Tulane. They're in the playoff hunt right now. Win a game or two last year that was close, they would have been in a playoff hunt. They were for a good portion of the season, but they didn't finish it out. Big fish hunting, which I don't think we actually probably need to do. Dan Lanning at Oregon. I just like Dan Lanning, man. You watch his interviews and everything. If he could put a helmet on, he'd go in the game himself and hit somebody. So I just like that he brings that energy and that kind of effort into coaching and that passion. That's why I would choose Lanning. But I doubt that you're not going to outbid Nike and Phil Knight with Oregon. And I doubt that he's going to lead that situation because they're in the Big Ten, so he has all those games to play. He has an easy route to the playoffs as they were in last year. I doubt it. A couple other names floating around. Joe Brady. I mean, I won't be mad if they get Joe Brady, but I think Joe Brady wants an NFL head coaching job, and I'm cool with it. Kelvin Shepard is being thrown around by a lot of the players, previous players. Again, I don't think it's a bad hire. I get why, because he knows it. He lived it. He was in there. He's defensive coordinator right now for the Lions, and he would be in it. But he has no head coaching experience. I don't want a first-time person. I'm just being real with you. I ain't saying they got to go. I mean, Brian Kelly was the most winningest coach in that field. I'm not saying you got to go get that person, but also I want somebody who has something. And so I wouldn't be opposed to it. It's just not the top of my list. An intriguing name that I can get behind who is a coach and has the experience is Matt Campbell at Iowa State. He has done a lot at Iowa State with a little. And so I definitely think that he's somebody who can do something. Again, Matt Campbell has done a lot at Iowa State with a little bit. They're always competitive. They overachieve. And I just think that he's just a solid coach and leader. There'll be other names that pop up. I don't want no retreads who've been hired 2 and 3 times. LSU is not a stepping stone job, and LSU is not a launch pad for people. You know, this is I'm biased, but I do believe it, the biggest job for a college coach in America. The fertile soil there is Louisiana gives you all the players you need. We have the most pro players per capita. You got Florida, you got Texas, you got Cali. But more often than not, you got ballers. A 3-star in Louisiana is not a 3-star anywhere else. Again, Justin Jefferson. NFL LSU is real. Look at some of the top players in their respective positions in the NFL. Find crazy. I think we had like a couple weeks ago, we had all 3 players of the week, NFL player of the week, offense, defense, special teams. So it's real. You have people who gonna pay. If they want that man out Sunday night, they probably would have got him Saturday night, but they had to, stew on it. They got him up out of here. So you're gonna have financial support. They just had the number 1 portal class because they paid for the number 1 portal class. So you have that. But whoever they hire, man, all I ask is that you better live in the dirt that is Louisiana football. And if LSU is willing to clean house, we'll get to that in a minute, man. But look, next segment, titled "The Saints Are on the Clock." LSU is one big ordeal. And let's talk about the Saints at this point. Like, I don't know. I expected it to be exactly what it is. The Saints are 1-7 after 8 games. They could have fooled some people in the first few games and won. They didn't. They 1-7, right? And in the second half of the last game, they brought in Tyler Shough to give the offensive spark. And they've recently named him the starting quarterback going forward. So he will be starting against the Rams, which I think is a mistake. That is the wrong situation to put that man in, but he was going to go in sometime, so might as well go get beat up right now. Why not? right? He came in for Rattler. He went 17 for 30, threw for 128 yards and a pick that wasn't his fault. No touchdown. There lies the problem. This man threw the ball in Chris Olave's hands and ended up being an interception. Rashid Shaheed fumbled like twice. Juwan Johnson, nothing needs to be said. There are no playmakers on this team. It didn't matter if Drew Brees was back there. The way the line is getting beat up the middle and the playmakers are not making plays, didn't matter who was back there. So yeah, put Shough in. Cool. You're gonna have to put him in sometime to see what you got. It don't matter. You have a lot of bigger issues than the quarterback. Again, if I had to name right now, I would take the left tackle and the right tackle. And just because I need some people on defense, give me Quincy Riley, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and Jonas Sanker. Just so I ain't got to start from straight scratch. But that's it. And that's being nice. Your center can't stay healthy. Your guards are trash. Your D-line gets no pressure. Chase Young has great stats the past couple games. He's come back, but he can't finish the job. He finally got a strip sack. We need consistency. Linebackers is terrible in coverage. Like, I like Shough's composure, but again, it don't matter who under center. The team around him is trash. Trash. And nobody playing like they care. Killing. Again, we talked about it before. Soft-spoken, I don't expect this man to come out and just yell. That ain't your character, that ain't your character. But you gotta say something. Like, I don't know. People are questioning him, and it's early in the game for that because guess what? When we talk about they don't have no fight and just no urgency, we talk about, like, since last season, this is that Jeff Duncan came out with and tweeted. Since last season, they have lost 11 of their last 12 games. And that's not a quarterback stat, bro. That's a team stat. Like, who gives a shit on this team? Like, let's be real. Who cares enough? Same thing we just talked about with LSU. Who cares to fight? I expect them to lose. The roster ain't great. You ain't got a quarterback. Got it. But damn, dog, y'all are uninspiring. Why is somebody going to spend their money to go to the game? Why is somebody going to waste their time sitting for 3 hours? Because we crazy, and I still do. Why, bruh? Why? Why should we? It's like they ain't got no identity. They ain't got no leadership. Straight up. Yeah, you got Taysom and you got Cam and DeMario still there, but you ain't got no leadership that is getting through to these other people. And it definitely shows hell ain't no accountability that we can see because the same things keep happening over and over. So you can tell you talk about it behind the scenes, but I mean, just like LSU, it starts at the top. The top is Gayle Benson and Mickey Loomis. Yeah. Silver lining, finally, we are on the clock. We are the number 1 pick right now. Thank you, Tennessee, Miami, and everybody else for being stupid. Boom. Saints on the clock. Yeah. That's all I got for right now. The Saints on the clock. And you can't even trust that they're going to do anything with that. So, yeah. They're on the clock for the soul of the fan base, too, man. Because if they're going to come out and just quit, then, I mean, you ain't got to support the city either. And that's going to be a very major problem. Because once the fans stop caring, man, it's a wrap. It's completely over. And speaking of lifeless, we have the Pelicans. Let's talk about it. Next segment is Pelicans in Freefall. The Pelicans are officially 0-4. Could be 2-2. They should have won the first 2 games. And they getting smacked by the Celtics, who had an 0-3 record and who was missing so many people. And then they come back and follow that up with getting blown out yesterday by the Nuggets. And it's like, man, they don't even look bad, bro. They look like, why am I here? They were down by 6 at halftime to the Nuggets and lost the third quarter by like 28 points. Went into the fourth quarter down by 34. Might as well have been 40. Who cares? It's not the first time this season or any season. Like, body language of plays looks terrible. Defensively, they can do nothing. The silver lining here is Jeremiah Fears started yesterday. He looks good. I think you got an asset in Jeremiah Fears, but man, it's just, I don't know. It's terrible, dog. I don't know. I like the guy. Man, Willie Green. Again, Jeff Duncan had this stat I talked about earlier. He tweeted out, the Saints are 1-11 in their last 12. And the Pelicans are 0-12 in the same span. You got 2 pro teams in one city, and the one common denominator is the owner. And so, damn, Gayle, what you doing? Gayle was just highlighted as #1 woman in sports by Forbes magazine or Forbes.com. Sounds cool. Got it. Great. But what are we getting for that? What are the fans getting for that? Okay, got the dome renovated. Who cares? Cool, it looks nice in there. Great. You got like 100,000 foot long bar. You're going to need it when people coming in to watch the damn Saints. The Smoothie King said they ain't getting renovated no time soon. We're trying to talk about it. Oh, they're going to be here, but their contract got a lot of loopholes in it. So who's coming to a game on a Tuesday night to pay money to watch this product? Nobody. Like I said, Willie might be a great dude, but I was behind him last year. And yeah, it's a 4-game sample, man, but it's like nothing's changed. And you have to do something. And replacing the coach is the easiest change you can make. So it's probably time for Willie to go. I don't know if it's fair or not, but it's probably time for Willie to get up out of here because something got to change, bro. Something has to change. And yeah, I don't know. He's going to have to be the one to go. And so when your whole city is defined by underachievement, maybe the question isn't just about the coach. And maybe it's about the leadership, again, connecting all of them, which is Gayle Benson. Right. Like, what are we doing? Gayle, what's happening? Mickey's screwing up the Saints, right? You just hired Joe. It ain't going well. So I can't even say, like, you were completely screwing both of these up. But you are because you are the final decision maker and you're letting it happen. You got to come out and say something. You got to come out and do something. Because it looked like you just cool with it, Gayle. Grandma Gayle got her pearls on, got a little designer purse, taking pictures out in the community here and there. You've done a lot of great stuff, and we appreciate you. And God rest his soul, Tom Benson, right? It ain't going well, Gayle. I don't know if you need to sell this mug or what, but something got to shake. Because the one thing people ain't doing right now is respecting the boot. And it's because we have so many teams that are just out here at rock bottom. And a lot of it is self-inflicted. So this week's Respect the Boot is for the fans, man. Respect yourself. Be a fan. Stay committed. Don't leave. LSU is going to find a coach. We're going to get on track. The Saints, I don't know when, are going to figure something out. The Pelicans, question mark. I ain't not even going to lie to you. They ain't never figured it out. So why should we believe it's going to happen now? So it's like, I hear you. But respect the boot this weekend by respecting yourself and knowing why you are a great fan of a Louisiana sport. Because through wins and losses, through the governor be putting in himself into business, not minding his own, through debt, government corruption, transfer portal, injured entire team, quarterback controversy, Anthony Davis trade request. What else we got? Bayou Classic ain't what it used to be. LSU men's basketball is terrible. We ain't won a track title in a long time. What else we got? City took forever to get the Super Bowl back up, and then they just messed it up by not having the contract, so they out on the next Super Bowl. It's a lot. And then you got Katrina. Through all that and all the other blows that come to this city and this state, I'm even going to say the city, this state, we always stand tall together, and we always just stand tall. So respect the boot by respecting yourself. Continue supporting in any way that you can. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. We going to get it turned around. It ain't going to look pretty. We got each other right now, right? LSU's looking for life of any kind. The Saints are looking for a direction. And the Pelicans, at this point, looking for some heart. It sounds like damn Wizard of Oz out here, but here we are. And Gayle is Oz. And Mickey is the Wicked Witch. I don't know. And Joe Dumars is out here singing Don't Bring Me No Bad News. Okay? So that's where everybody's at. But one thing is clear, man. Like, we deserve better. Louisiana sports fans deserve better. And we need to keep holding people's feet to the fire. And we need to keep using our voices and dollars to say that we do not agree with things that are happening, man. So follow the show. Drop your takes. Who do you want to be the coach? How do you feel about Shough coming in this early in the season? Was Rattler officially done? Is it the rest of the team? Is the quarterback? The Pelicans, period. Where you at with the Pelicans? Do you even care? Does anybody care? Right? So drop them takes. Let me know what you think. And man, look, as always, you have two choices, especially right now when we in the state of sports here in Louisiana. You could either boot up or you can shut up. And you know I'm always choose to boot up, baby. Peace out. Join us next time. Louisiana Sports Unfiltered. Appreciate it.